It's the Hulkamaniacs and the $1 Million Team. And Ted, you've got Zeus on your side. He's a huge guy, fantastic look, but
he was the brains of that team.
He was the one holding it all together. Man, he's an actor. Like, and here he is. He's working with some of these really, polished, experienced performers. Ted, what do you think of the whole thing?
Oh gosh, I was just hoping that it didn't all crash.
Man, it's asking a lot of anybody to just step into a ring and sort of familiarize themselves. But fortunately, he got out of there quickly. I did want to mention too, Jake. Up to this point, I'm not seeing any mentions of you working on the way to Survivor Series. You had returned in October, but I'm not seeing anything about you having matches at the house shows or anything. Were they being extra cautious with you coming off your neck injury?
Yeah, they're waiting to see how it went.
Yeah.
Man, definitely for the best, but I mean, you're back in with both feet following Survivor Series. Ted,
and just so you know, the injury that Jake had to his neck,
it wasn't Ted.
No, it wasn't. But fast forward, that's what ended up. That's what I ended up having the same thing.
That's what ended your career.
Yeah, like C5, C6. They did a fusion deal, and I was about to turn 40, and because my dad had died wrestling when he was 45 years old, I just told myself I'm not going to stay too long. I mean, there's other things I can do. I could be a manager. I could other things I could do. I don't have to stay in the ring, and I just made it a personal thing that after 40 I'm done, and so it kind of all happened about that time.
Jake, do you think that if you had been a little bit older whenever you got this injury, you would have considered hanging it up, or just weren't ready?
If it was a little bit older, no, because I still had a lot to prove to my father and to myself. And when you've been out there for years and you haven't really gotten that one good push and let go for a while to see what you can do, you'll always dream about doing it. And I didn't want to dream about doing it and give up after 3 years of being up there.
Right. Not to mention, if we can give our listeners a little context, like, it's not like you guys had these insurance policies or anything like that.
No.
You're all independent contractors, and it's this is it. This is your full income, and you're doing something that you loved and have dreamed about doing your whole life. Like, man, Ted, good on you for saying, you know what, I'm just not going to put my body through it anymore, because that's got to be a tough choice to make.
Oh, and it was, it was, and I think I did okay as a manager, but there were so many times when I was on the outside of the ring watching where in my head I'm going, gosh, if I could just get in the ring with this guy, I could do this with him, I could do that with him. And I know Jake thought that way as well about a lot of guys. So,
well, Jake is still active with AEW. Jake, you ever watching these guys in the ring and say, like, man, I could really teach these kids a couple things?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God. Not with Lance.
Oh, no, he's there.
No, I'll never say that, because he's pretty much got his act together. They just need to let him loose.